Welcome to episode 32 of Dad's Rank Things. I'm Jones.
I'm Tyler.
And today we start off because Labor Day is coming up, but what are the worst jobs that you've ever labored towards? This is going to be a funny reflection, and we want your guys' comments too, to comment with what you got. I started working at the age of 15. How about you?
It's a good question. 15, 16.
Yeah, okay. So lots of different jobs over the years, and some of them were better than others, obviously. And we're talking about the worst ones that we've ever had. So
Our worst jobs.
Our worst
We'd
ones,
love to hear
yes.
your worst jobs too.
My number 3, based here in Quincy, where we're from, was Shookings, is a very famous suit shop.
Yeah.
And I worked in that suit shop.
Oh,
but that's
wow.
my number 3 worst job. Yeah. A lot of mine
You
are
didn't like it's menswear.
menswear, yes. A lot of suits that we do sell. The reason why I'm ranking my 3, 2, 1, it comes in the scent category, because selling suits, you smell some bad smells.
Ooh.
Because there's lots of guys that come in there get fitted for suits, and of course you got to go around the junk area, and maybe they didn't wipe too well, so the smell's coming from there.
Oh my God!
And you got to go
what
up
kind
top
of clientele?
Got to go up top to measure for the coat, and you got some underarms that stink a little bit. Sometimes there's stuff coming out of places you don't want to know about. So
Now there's excretions?
excretions everywhere, including the feet. So that's why suit salesman is my number 3. Jeff, I'm sorry, Jeff Shooking, who owns the place. I'm sorry, but it was a bad
not his
job.
fault, you know.
It just comes along with the line of work. Unfortunately, in downtown Quincy too, there wasn't a lot of foot traffic when I did have that job, and so it's pretty slow. So there's not a lot of things to do. So I was pretty bored most of the time while I'm not dealing with smelly customers.
Now I feel like if I go into a menswear place like this, I'm going to be judged for my stinkiness.
Make sure you
and
shower first.
I hope I'm not excreting anything. Good gracious. My number 3 is going to surprise a lot of people because it's basically in my field of work, and that is a radio producer.
Yeah.
Look, it's
both
not,
had that
it's
job.
not a glorious job. And times have changed, so people now that are radio producers, you guys got it easy. This
Real
is
easy.
nothing. All right. The worst part of it was it's called patchwork. Okay, so if you imagine like those pictures you've seen that are black and white of like telephone operators
yeah.
trying to patch everyone together, like that's what we had to work with. And so, you know, you'd have someone ready to call a college basketball game. Okay, and they'd call in like, all right, I'm ready to go. And so you have this sheet that says you got to patch in A14, B12 to C to D to and like 30 things, and you patch them all in. You hit go, and then you wait. And those were the biggest 3 to 5 seconds you've ever had in your life. Because if nothing happens in those 3 to 5 seconds, you have to take out every patch and start over again. Or if during those 3 to 5 seconds it's like, hey, welcome, it's Eric from whatever. Then you're like, oh, thank Jesus, thank Jesus. So it was a most pressuresome situation. After that part, it was pretty easy. For
Right,
the most
once you
part.
got it going.
But those patches never failed. You mess up something. All right, and then there was an older gentleman that worked there. God rest his soul. But he'd come in and he would just yell at me, just like
Bob Joy.
yeah,
Yes.
yell at me, and and he'd come at me, and then I got called in like to the boss's boss the next day, and they were like, "So what happened with the game?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And they're like, "No. Did Bob throw anything at you?" I was like, "What? Did Bob throw anything at you?" Like, "No, he didn't throw anything at me." Okay, that's all we need to know. You have a good day. But that radio producer was an interesting one for me. My number 2, not as sexy, is a car dealership car washer.
Oh my.
Yeah. So we're not talking about like you bring your car in and we detail it and wash it.
Right, so the new car's going to the lot, right?
It's all the cars that are sitting on the lot that just sit there.
Yeah.
And you take the power washer around in the hot weather and you just wash the cars by hand.
So you did the outside of the car, detailing on the inside? Did you
No
do it?
detail.
Just outside.
Occasionally they'd ask us to detail on the inside, but most of the time just clean the outside.
So for 8 hours a day, you would just wash
No,
cars?
they wouldn't let us stay there that long.
Oh, okay.
It was like 5.
So 5 hours a day, just washing cars nonstop of the cars that were supposedly already clean. Yeah.
We were making them cleaner.
It's like moving rocks whenever you're in jail. Just move the rocks side to side. How long did you do that? One summer?
I think just one, yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. Didn't have pain too long.
No.
My number 2 is in the same line, though. I was a dog kennel custodian. So I didn't wash cars, but I washed shit. It was a rough summer for me because at the same time I was doing the dog kennel custodian and a baseball umpire, which didn't make my top 3. But
Wow.
being an umpire in
That
like
should.
summer
Wow.
as a teenager who's umpiring of kids about your same age is pretty bad too because they don't hold anything back.
No.
But as a dog kennel custodian, so not only did I have to clean the shit out of the area, but not only their poop, hair, pee, and toenails sometimes in there too. So the different things I had to do with the dogs, and again the smell
How
is
do
what
you
I'll
end
talk
up
about.
cleaning
is just bad.
kennels?
Well, it's part of the deal. It's part of the deal.
Did you just like play with the dogs
Yeah,
and like
I get
do the
it.
good part about the?
Sometimes you don't get them out too often. Not to harp on anybody who raises dogs, but there's obviously a right way and a wrong way. I don't know if this was the right way or not.
Sure. Okay.
So, my number 1 was restoration and cleanup from fires, and this was with a company called Llewellyn's out of Kirksville. So not only did we do the restoration of after the fact of cleaning the stuff, but then you got to blowing insulation and repairing, which is a very tough job, especially in the summer heat without air conditioning. You're up in an attic with
Yeah.
insulation, but again the stench. Fire doesn't disappear.
How come all 3 of yours had to do with bad smells?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. They're ranked on the bad smells of what I actually remember. And it's the scent of, how campfires, when you go to a campfire and you have that
Yeah.
smoke in your nostrils for so long, it didn't leave my nose of
Like
fire
your
for like
hair
2
on
years.
your skin starts to smell
Yeah,
like
you smell it
you
everywhere.
can't get rid of it.
For 2 years, I smelled fire because I had that job. It's the only job I ever quit because I passed out in the heat.
Wow.
I couldn't do it.
We're getting into serious
Couldn't do it.
past olfactory reasons here. My number 1 least favorite job or worst job was paper shredder.
What?
Yeah. This
That's not a job.
is well.
That's
this
a
is
machine.
This is when you were like 15, or 14, and it was for my dad's bank.
Okay.
And banks have to get rid of a lot of their paper that
Yeah.
has people's information on it, and so that was my job. Over summer I sat in the basement of the bank. So it was like in your world of jobs, smelly.
Yes.
I had a transistor radio that I had barely in, so I could hear some of the songs.
Foreshadowing your job as a radio.
Maybe
producer.
I don't know, but that's all I did all day was shred papers. It was monotonous. It was boring, mind-numbing.
Man.
We're trying to think of the songs that were popular because they were not good either. It was like a horrible summer. It was like Rockabye by Sean Mullins was on like 5 times an hour. And then, Sonny Came Home.
Did you ever read
Do you remember that song?
No.
Oh, God. Maybe our viewers can tell us. Sonny Came... those 2 songs play like all the time. They're horrible songs.
Did you ever read the documents before you?
Yeah, I didn't know what the hell I was reading,
Oh, okay.
but I was like, "Oh, look at!" I knew some names in there, but I didn't know what any of the numbers meant. I don't know. I hope the bank wasn't doing anything shady. If so, then I'm.
That's probably why they hired you as
I'm
a shredder.
guilty.
'Cause
I didn't
he was
know
aiding
anything.
and abetting in some kind of fraud scheme.